Hi, my name is Oscar and I'm a scientist, and in this video we're going to review together the Visa Bulletin for May 2023, and we're going to analyze what it means for do-it-yourself petitioners, self-petitioners for EB-2 NIW and EB-1A categories. Let's jump in and let's take a look together. So if we move to my other screen, here is how you get to the Visa Bulletin. You just type Visa Bulletin in Google, and usually the first link that appears here is the official.gov website. You click on it and you'll open a website like this. This is the official travelstate.gov website. You usually have the current Visa Bulletin. For us, that's April 2023. And by the way, I have a video where I analyze in detail April 2023. I'll leave a link right here. And then we have the upcoming Visa Bulletin. This has just been released for May 2023. And we're going to see together what the news are. I have to say that I already took a quick look and it's not great, unfortunately. In April, we had seen the dates retrogress for EB-2 for 5 months. They were in December 2022 and they went back to July 2022, 5 months of retrogression. Retrogression means that the days go back so less people can adjust their status, okay? That happens when visa numbers are not available or are running out, and USCIS and the State Department need to slow down giving out green cards to people. Otherwise, they will run out of green cards per year that they can give. Okay, so let's open both April and May so we can compare. So I have that in the next tab. And as you know, there's always two tables for employment base. There's final action dates and then there's dates for filing. In general, final action dates are for those who are applying for an adjustment of status. And table B are for those who are applying for consular processing. However, that changes from time to time because USCIS tells us what table we have to look for adjustment of status. For April, we know that adjustment of status, people need to look at table A. That's where we saw the date I was talking about, July 2022, for most countries except for China and India that have more delays, more wait times, in general in most categories, if not all, most categories. We also saw that EB-1 was current for all countries except China and India that had a date of February 2022. Let's now jump to the Visa Bulletin for May 2023 and see how things are changing. All right, so when we move to the same table, table A, in May 2023, what we see is that for the second employment-based category, that's EB-2 and includes EB-2 NIW, we see further retrogression. So this is, guys, this is definitely not good news. This is bad news for all of you who are interested in EB-2 NIW, who are in the process, or those of you who are thinking about EB-2 NIW, because what it means, going back to the dates, is that only people with a priority date of February 15th, 2022 or earlier can adjust their status. Okay, so that means that the dates have further retrogressed 5 more months. They were in July. If we go back to April, you see they were in July. Now they will go back to February. So that's an extra 5 months almost. Okay, what happened with China and India? They were June June 2019, January 2011, and they are exactly the same. So China and India, unfortunately, those countries, those petitioners need to wait even longer. The situation has not changed, it's just stuck, which is also not good, but at least it's not retrogressing further. All other countries, including Mexico, Philippines, dates have further retrogressed to the 15th of February of 2022. All right. That's actually discussed at the end of the Visa Bulletin, if you want to go to the end, we have some notes here. And USCIS and the State Department actually discussed this, and they talk about further retrogression for EB-2. In April 2023, EB-2 final action dates for rest of world, Mexico and the Philippines retrogress to keep number used within fiscal year 2023 annual limit. Remember that USCIS and the Department of State have a cap on the number of green cards that they can give out per category and per country per year, and that's imposed by Congress, okay? And that's that annual limit they are talking about. This was due to the higher expected demand from applicants with priority dates earlier than the established final action dates. So that meant that a lot of people were adjusting their status at that time. The Department of State and USCIS continue to see increased demand from these applicants, necessitating further retrogression. As a result, rest of world, Mexico, and Philippines, the EB-2 final action dates have retrogressed to 15th February 2022. The situation will be continually monitored and any necessary adjustments will be made accordingly. So this may not be the end of it, or with these things we truly never know. I mean, it could mean that it will further retrogress, or it could mean that they now have applied too much retrogression and in coming months it will go back a little bit forward. But we don't know that. And all we know is that the change of the fiscal year is in September to October. But as you know, USCIS and the Department of State don't just typically they don't just say from this point until the end of fiscal year nobody can apply. What they do is they do these retrogressions, or they move the dates forward depending on what they are seeing, how many people are adjusting status. Maybe that changes and less people adjust in the coming months, and they will have to adjust accordingly. So in essence, we don't really know what's going to happen in the coming months. That's why it's so important to always review these visa bulletins. One thing I have to note from this month of May is that typically we need to go to this link that they give here to understand what table we have to look at. However, they have not updated this information. They are still showing the April information, which was table A. But based on the footnote that we just read, I'm pretty positive that the same will happen here. And the table that people need to look at when adjusting status is table A, final action dates. Okay, so that's for EB-2 adjustment of status. Let's take a quick look at what happens for EB-2 consular processing. I'm going to compare the 2 months. So for EB-2, we had December 2022 as date, and we're still showing December 2022 for EB-2 consular processing. However, I get the question all the time, does that mean that consular processing people have an advantage over adjustment of status because their priority date is later, is better? That doesn't mean so. It means that probably it will be adjusted a little bit later because what happens is that if visa numbers run out, they will run out for everyone. So that they will not give green cards to people that are applying from abroad and withhold the green cards from people that are doing adjustment of status. That, I think, that makes sense for everyone. So it's just a procedural thing. It is a little bit slower for consular processing, so it does make sense that they are still keeping December 2022. That means that people can send their civil documents, etc., to the State Department. That doesn't mean that they will get the green card faster. Most likely, you won't get an interview, you won't get a green card issued to you if there are no visa numbers available, okay? So let's take a quick look at EB-1. So let's go back to table A. So EB-1 was current in April, and except for China and India, of course, that retrogressed a few months ago to February 2022. Right now in April, let's take a look. We are seeing the same, right? We see current for all countries except China and India, February 2022. So no retrogression, nothing. The dates have also not advanced for China and India, not great news for China and India. But compared to what we're seeing in the EB-2 category, actually a stagnant date right now is not a horrible news to share. That's the situation we're in, unfortunately. Let's take a quick look to the third category just for fun, even though it's not really the focus of this channel, but the EB-3 category was current in April, except for China and India, November 18, June 2012. And what we're seeing is it has retrogressed, right? Yes. So it was current for EB-3, and it has retrogressed to June 2022. So not good news also for EB-3, except for India and China that were 2018. Yeah, India and China. China has gotten a little bit better, but for most people in EB-3, also not great news. Retrogression of about half a year. So it seems that in the recent months we have not been able to share excellent news to anyone. More so on the opposite side, we are sharing bad news time and time again. Hopefully the situation will revert. We'll continue monitoring what happens with the visa bulletins, and as usual, I did share with you how to get this information. Going to Google, Visa Bulletin, clicking on the official link, taking a look at the current and the upcoming Visa Bulletin and analyzing the tables. The significance of this is you have to check the date for your country and your category. EB-2 NIW would be second employment-based category. You check this date, and in order for you to adjust status, your priority date has to be earlier than the date listed here. That's why it's very important to file as soon as you can, because the moment you file your EB-2 NIW or your EB-1A, categories in which you can self-petition, you will get your place in line, you will get your priority date, you will put your foot in the queue. So when the time comes, you have a better chance to be able to adjust status faster, okay? All right, thank you so much for following this channel. Thank you so much for being here with me analyzing the Visa Bulletin. And as usual, if you are interested in EB-2 NIW, you should be sure to check my website, eb2niw.info, where I have tons of information about this green card category in which you can self-petition, you can be the owner of your immigration process. I have my successful petition for download, my I-140 petition for download. And I also have a very nice EB-2 NIW comprehensive course that will walk you through all the steps in the process to craft a good solid case for yourself, a good endeavor, good letters of recommendation, good cover letter, and be able to finish this process the best way you can, putting together a very well done petition for yourself so you can go to USAS with your I-140 and hopefully get your approval and be the owner of your future in the United States of America. Thank you very much. Have a great day.